Hey everyone, we are wrapping up stuff. We'll only have one video left on Friday. This is the second little video for today on section 7.2. What I want you to do is turn off your calculator, turn off the video, turn on your calculator, and try doing these 4 review problems from 7.1. All right, give them a shot. Turn off the video, turn on your calculator, and see what you can make of these. All right, so to write each percent as a decimal, I like doing them without my calculator, but you can do these with your calculator, right? We'll do both. So you just get rid of the percent symbol, and then you shift your decimal 2 places to the left. So 0.457. To write a percent as a decimal, you get rid of the percent and shift your decimal point 2 places to the left. 0.014. All right. If you have a calculator like this, if you just put 45.7% and hit enter, it's going to write it for you without the percent symbol. All right. Again, if you have a calculator with the percent symbol, if you just pop it in and hit enter, there's your answer without the percent. If you don't have a calculator with the percent symbol, then one way to think about this is putting in the number without the percent and then dividing by 100. You can do it that way as well, right? But I always think get rid of the percent, shift the decimal 2 places to the left. All right? So I'll just make a little note of that. Get rid of the percent, shift the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, shift the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, to the left. All right, so that's one way to do it without your calculator. All right, it says write each fraction percent as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. Also something you can do with your calculator, but I want to do it without first. Now listen. Percent means per 100. So you should easily, without your calculator, just to be able to pop those over 100. Right? They're not in simplest form, but that should be something easy because percent means per divide by 100. Now these both are even, so I know there's a factor of 2 in both. So real quick, without my calculator, I can write that in simplest form. Right? Again, these are both even. So I know I can factor out a factor of 2, and that'll give me my fraction in simplest form. But again, you can do these on your calculator. This should not be something difficult. Just put 22% into your calculator. Hit enter. That's not a fraction, so that's where the change key comes in, and then you'll see it in fraction form. All right? 2%. Hit enter. If you want the fraction form, you see my finger down here? I'm pointing it with my pen. Hit that change key, and that'll give it to you as a fraction in simplest form. If you don't have a calculator with the percent key, that's fine, right? You can go 22 divided by 100, and then you can go into your calculator and say change that decimal to a fraction. Okay? So you could do it on this calculator. You just have to know that percent means divide by 100. And then go into your alpha y equals option and have your calculator change it from a fraction or a decimal to a fraction. All right, so you have these options even if you don't have the percent key. Write each decimal as a percent. So this is where you need to add in the percent and shift the decimal 2 places to the right. So add in the percent, shift the decimal 2 places to the right. So So you're going to add in the percentage. And then there's two ways to think about it. Either shift the decimal, two places to the right, or the same thing as multiply by 100. Okay? Same thing, right? So you could just go 0.44 times 100, and there's your percent. Just know you have to add the percent symbol. If you have a calculator like this one, you have the change to percent key that's above the other parenthesis. So there's your 44%. All right? So if we had 0.008, and I want to change that to a percent. Okay? It's a little bit of calculator work. And then you write each fraction as a percent. Use your calculator. Okay. So we have 34 over 50. Now, I'm going to hit change to give it to as a decimal. And then I just go multiply by 100 and then make it 68%. Right? For some reason, I just think it's easier to just go multiply by 100 than saying change to a percentage. I don't know, I just like to multiply by 100. So you'll have 5 over 6, get it as a decimal, and multiply by 100. So 83.3 repeat. All right, so hopefully that was just a real nice quick review. All right, so if I said to you, you know what, let's just go find 25%, you guys should look at me funny and hesitate, because you can't just have a floater percentage. You always need to take a percent of something. Okay, so for example, what number is 25% of 80? So we need to break down what each of these pieces mean mathematically. Okay, so the what number means the x value, the unknown. What means the x value or the unknown? All right. Of, you guys already know this, of always means multiply. And is means equals. So what we're going to do is we're going to start taking these statements and putting them into a mathematical equation. So what number is 25% of 80? Well, I don't know. What is 25% of 80? So 25% of 80 is 20. So it's much easier to solve these if we can write them out as a mathematical equation. All right? So let's practice. And all I want to do is just practice setting them up. I don't even want to solve these. I just want to practice setting them up. Okay? So is means equals. So 1.3 is 30%. Do you remember, of means multiply. So of what number? Does that make sense? So what number, there's my x, is means equals. So my is means equals 30% of means multiply of 120. All right, let's try another one. 35% of means multiply of 200 is means equal, and then x is my what number? You getting these? So 40% of what number, that's my x, this is my equals, is 80. Okay, what percent, there's my x, of 85 is 34. So you absolutely need to be able to set these up, right? Because they're very difficult to do, very difficult to solve if you can't set them up. All right, so let's go ahead and set these four up, and then we're going to solve them. Okay, so why don't you pause the video, set these four up, and then we'll pause the video and solve them. Okay? So set them up, and then we'll solve. All right, let's see how you did. What number is 12% of 200? Okay. 85% of 300 is what number? Like this, let's go ahead and solve these two. Ready? Now we should be able to take 12% pretty easily. 10% is 20, right? 12% or 1% is 2. So it looks like this is going to be pretty easy to solve without our calculator. 10% is 20. 1% is, we shift the decimal 2 places to the left, and then another 1% is 2. So it looks like it's going to be 24. But we're going to do these on our calculator. So 12% of 200 is 24. All right, let's do this one. So 85% of 300. Get 255. All right, now these ones you have a little bit more to do to solve them. So 12% of what number is 0.6? Or 63 is 42% of what number? So in order to solve for the x, do you see we need to divide to get the x by itself? Right? So then x is going to equal, let's pull out our calculator, ready? So 0.6 divided by 12%. If you don't have the percent key on your calculator, you're going to have to say 0.6 divided by 0.12. You're going to have to convert it to a decimal. But either way, you'll get 5. And this is the same thing. To solve for x, we'd have to divide by 42% in this case. Okay, so those cancel. And it looks like we'll get 63 divided by 42%. Did you guys get 150? So sometimes you have to do a quick division before you can get the x by itself. Now, these ones are a little trickier because they're asking for a percent. So you have to take one more step before you write down your answer. So it says 44 is what percent of 55? So we need to write it as a percent. So when I divide both sides by 55, the calculator only gives you the decimal, right? So when I do 44 divided by 55 and convert it to a decimal, I get 0.8. So you have to remember that that's not your answer, that's the decimal form. So multiply it by 100 to get the percent. Okay, so this is going to give you 0.8. Don't forget you've got to multiply by 100. Okay, you have to multiply by 100 to get the percent. So this is going to equal 80%. Okay, that's my big helpful hint. Don't forget, if they're asking for a percent, the calculator's not going to give it to you as a percent. You've got to multiply it by 100. All right, so what percent of 12 is 9? So we're going to divide both sides by 12. And remember, the calculator's only going to give you the decimal form. You can just do 9 divided by 12 if you don't want to use your n over d key. And then remember, you've got to multiply it by 100 to get the percent. So 75%. Okay, and then I'm going to write it in pink so you don't forget. Times 100 equals 75%. Don't forget to write the percent key in as well, right? All right, so let's do this one. 78 is what percent of 65? So this is going to be over 100%. That's okay. So you guys get 120. So you get 1.2. So the calculator gives you 1.2. But then you got to remember, if they're asking for a percent, you got to multiply it by 100, and that will give you the percent. Okay? All right. So these are important because we're going to be doing some applications of this in the next section. So go ahead, pause the video, and try these 5 questions. All right? Pause the video, pull out your calculator, give them a shot. And then we'll see how you did. All right, here we go. So what number is 20% of 15? Of means multiply, what number means x, and is means equal. So just pull out our calculator. So 20% of 15. Did you guys get 3? Now that should make sense, right? Because 10% is 1.5, so 20% will double it. So that should make sense, right? That was our answer. All right, 210% of 165 is what number? Now look, 100% is 165, so we have to double that to get 265, or to get 200%. 100% of 165 is 165, so 200% will be double that. So look, we can do this without the calculator. So here's 100% plus another 100%. You can't see it. There's 100% plus another 100%, and then 10%. You shift the decimal one place to the left, so that's 16.5. Right? So we can do this without the calculator. Or you're going to take 210% times 165. So you should be able to make a pretty decent estimation of this before you even turn on your calculator. That makes sense? Here, I'll do it again. 100% of 165 is 165. If we do another 165, that's 200%, and we want 10%, another 10, so shift the decimal one place to the left. There you go. So we can do these cool percentages without our calculator. We don't need the calculator. All right, we're going to keep going. So 180 is 40% of what number? So this is one of the problems where we're going to have to divide by 40% first. And we're looking for a number, not a percentage. We have the percent. So we're not going to be multiplying by 100 for this. We're just going to turn on our calculator and go ahead and divide. So looks like x is equal to 450. All right, what about this one? 25 is what percent of 125? Okay, so I know the calculator's going to give me the decimal, and I'm going to need to multiply by 100 to get the percent. When you're looking for the percent, this is when you're going to have to multiply by 100 to get the final percentage. Okay? So when I put this into my calculator, and I'll just put 25 divided by 125. You don't have to use the fraction if you don't want to. Okay, that's the decimal, and then I got to multiply it by 100 to get the percentage. So I'm allowed to write that symbol in. Right? It's going to be 0.2 times 100. This is what the calculator gives you, and then because you multiplied by 100, you're allowed to put the percentage in. Right? And then 55% of 30 is what number? So this is just straightforward calculator stuff. And you guys, you can do this without the calculator. We'll do it with this, did you guys get 16.5? But you can do it without. Look. So this is going to be 50% plus 5%. So 50% of 30 is half. All right. 10% of 30 is 3. Right? Shift it one place to the left. So half of 3 is 1.5. So that's where you get your 16.5 from. So you can do these without your calculator, no problem. But the calculator does make it nice and easy. All right, and then the last part, I just wanted to review one of these. And you know what? I wrote this wrong. This should be what portion, not what proportion. What portion of total sugar. So when we get to these, we'll change the wording to that. All right, let's first of all, how many cups are in the container? All right, so that says we've got 8 servings, and each servings is 2/3 of a cup. So we have 8 times 2/3. But we want to know how many cups. So 8 times 2/3. So we have 16/3 cups, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So let's convert that to a mixed number. All right. So let's convert that to mixed numbers. Did you guys get 5 1/3? 16/3 is 5 1/3 cups. That makes more sense, written as a mixed number. So on the final, they have you write that as a mixed number. Are we okay? All right, let's see. How much fiber is recommended daily? Well, this got cut off. Do you see that? But we can figure it out from here. So look, we've got 4 grams of dietary fiber. So 4 grams out of some total, which I don't know what it is. Remember, a percent is a part over the total. This percent is equal to 14%. Be okay? So if we have a fraction equaling a fraction, right? Or we could write it as 14/100. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. You ready? So 4 times 1 equals the total times 14%. So if we divide both parts by 14%, both sides, we'll be able to figure out how much is recommended. So it looks like they recommend, about 28, between 28 and 29. We'll call it, how about 28.6 grams? 28.6 grams. Now remember, I'm going to write this down because this is super, super important for you to remember. You ready? A percent is always thought of as a part over a total. And we'll be doing a lot of these on our last video on Friday, okay? A percent is always a part over the total. All right, so if you eat the entire container, what percent of your daily allowance of calories did you eat? All right, so this is down here, talks about a 2,000 calorie diet, right? So we're saying we're going to be on a 2,000 calorie diet. So if we eat the entire container, we eat 8 servings that are 230 calories. So 8 times 230 calories. How many calories is that? All right, 18, well, you ate a lot of calories. 1840, you ate just about 100% of your calories. Okay, so this is the calories consumed. So if we're on a 2,000 calorie diet, we've got the part over the total equals the percent. So remember, if you're looking for a percent, the calculator gives you the decimal, and you've got to multiply it by 100 to get the percent. So we knew it was just about 100%. So 92% makes sense, right? That should make sense. All right, let's try it again. You ready? How much calcium is recommended? Well, this got cut off, but no problem. Look, we had 260 milligrams out of some number, out of some total, and that was equal to 20% of what I was supposed to eat for the whole day. So let's cross multiply. So 260 milligrams is 20% of the total. So we're going to divide both sides by 20%. And then that should be the total. So 260 divided by 20%, or 0.20. So you should have about 1,300 milligrams of calcium a day. And again, we're going to do more of these on Friday. This is just kind of a little peek into Friday. All right. Let's see. So what portion of total sugars is added sugars? Let's see. Where do we see that? Right here. Okay. So the total sugars is 10 grams or 12 grams, and that's 10 grams of added sugar. So you've got 10 grams out of 12 grams is added sugar. So what percent would that be? What is 10 grams out of the total? What percent is that? Percent is a part over the total. Remember, if we're trying to find a percent, we've got to multiply my answer on my calculator by 100. So did you guys get 83 point, I don't know, 3, I'll just, wouldn't see 3 repeat. This probably would have just said 83%. They didn't fill it in, but we could write 83% there. All right. What portion of total fat is saturated fat? Well, we've got 1 gram out of 8 grams. So 1 gram out of 8 grams is saturated fat. So what's 1 apart out of the total? Okay, so 1 divided by 8, and then don't forget you got to multiply by 100 to get the percent. It says write it as a percent. So that's 12.5% of the total fat is saturated fat. All right, let's see. How much iron is recommended daily? How much, oh, well, we actually, let's see, how much iron, how much dietary fiber. All right, so this is just some more practice. Okay, you ready? So I'm given a part. I don't know the total, but I do know the percent. You ready? So 4 grams out of a total is equal to 14%. So we'll cross multiply. So 4 grams equals 14% of some total. So to figure out the total grams, we're going to divide both sides by 14%. So we're not trying to find a percent, we're just trying to find a total grams. Did we do this one? I feel like we got this answer already somewhere. Okay, so 28.6-ish. 28.6 grams of iron. Okay. Oh, no, we did fiber up there. So fiber in the, oh, we already did the fiber. So how much fiber is recommended daily? We did that up here. I feel like we're repeating ourselves. Right here, you ready? So up here, we did the fiber. So we don't need to do it again. And then, oh, I screwed up. I flippy dipped. Okay, you guys must think I'm crazy, which is likely. So this is the fiber. Is that what I was doing? Yeah, okay. I'm losing it. So the fiber is what I just did, not the iron. So this is the fiber. It looks so familiar, and that's why, because we've done it already. So this is the fiber. Okay, and now Crazy Lady is going to do the iron over here, because these are unedited videos. Alright, so the iron is right here. I told you they're unedited. Here we go. Right there's the iron. You ready, guys? So 8 milligrams out of sum total is equal to 45%. So part over the total is 45%. So we can cross multiply and say 8 milligrams is 45% of sum total. So we'll divide both sides by 45%. Okay, I ran out of room. Let me write it here. Here, I'll bring it down here. So 8 milligrams divided by 45% equals the total. The total number of milligrams of iron that you need every day. All right, so 8 divided by 45% looks like you need about 17.8 grams of iron. All right, sorry about that, but that makes sense. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we got a little bit more practice. All right, and the last one, Bill. Wow, he's on a 3,000 calorie diet. I wish I was on a 3,000 calorie diet. That'd be awesome. And it says he eats 2 servings. So how many calories will he have remaining for the day? And what percentage of total calories will be remaining? All right, so he ate 2 servings. So there are 230 calories in a serving. So if he ate 2 servings, 230 times 2, it looks like he ate 460 calories. So the first part, they want to know how many calories will he have left. So it looks like he'll have 2,540 calories left. Okay. So it says what percentage of the total calories will be remaining. All right, so this is the part he has left out of the total. Percent is equal part over total. So when we pop this into our calculator, 3,000. Part over total. Remember, this is the decimal. So to get the percent, you have to multiply by 100. If you're looking for a percent, when you do this on your calculator, multiply it by 100. So we'll say 84.7. So he has 84.7% of his calories remaining. All right, so don't forget about that My Math Lab, okay guys? These sections are all open. Let me know if you have any questions. And we have one video left on Fridays. You guys are survivors. You did it. We will see you soon, and you'll have another video on Friday. Take care, everyone.